Further breaking news. I break more news than a bull in a china shop. According to Larry Fitzgerald Sr., after downing 340 ounces of Colt 45, the Cincinnati Bengals are prepared to pay Tom Brady $50 million a year, and Tom Brady, in turn, will offer his wife up to the Cincinnati Bengal locker room. Yes, you're hearing it here first. You won't hear it from Rosenthal. You won't hear it from Rappaport. You won't hear it from Glazer. You're hearing it right here. That's right. Tom Brady, the $50 million man. That's $50 million a year. Okay, now we're done with that. I'll have some of my Jesus juice. You know something? I hope the Raiders are actually the ones tampering right now. Provided they don't get in trouble. Getting in trouble would be bad. They had draft picks taken away from them because they kind of gave up a second rounder they kind of need right now. And why would the Raiders benefit by speculation and potentially causing the New England Patriots to pay Tom Brady $35 million a year, or whatever it might be? It's called salary cap. This is a war of attrition. The Raiders are in decent salary cap situation. And if they can get, like I've said before, if they can get the Chiefs and the Patriots to overpay for these players, that's only going to help them in some way. They still have to take care of their own selves. The Raiders have not taken care of themselves for a good long while. You take 2016 away. It's been a long, lonely road. This would be a coup d'etat. Tom Brady, $35 million a year. Patrick Mahomes, $40 million a year. One Chief fan commented on my video. He said that Chris Jones is willing to accept less to stay with Kansas City. Isn't that nice? Is Patrick Mahomes also going to accept less? Geez, I hope not. They got some other... I mean, what did Tyreek Hill just get paid? He just got paid. This is all complex type of a thing. Raiders are in a position to play some games. I'm not buying Larry Fitzgerald Sr. knows jack shit. He doesn't know fuck. There are people leaking things, agents, or the Raiders. Yes, the Raiders want to make sure the teams way ahead of them get weakened. And what better way than weaken them by salary cap? We play in the AFC West, the AFL West, if you will. And who is in that division? Called the Denver Broncos. They paid Miller all that money, and all of a sudden, they couldn't afford a quarterback. The Raiders got rid of Khalil Mack and arguably got better. Not much better, but then again, one player on defense making whatever it is, 20, 25 million a year, really hampers your whole salary cap structure, if you will. It depends on where you're at. It depends on the time, and generally speaking, you don't have that quarterback on the rookie contract still. I mean, there's a little developmental stage going on. But the Raiders are not really in that position right now. But they definitely need to spend some money. I mean, you use it or lose it. But other teams have spent the money. They've developed good teams. Patriots have all sorts of problems. They have cornerback problems or defensive back problems. McCourty or whatever his name is. They have to sign him still. They got, I think, $40 million or so in salary cap. If they pay Tom Brady $35 million, and I guarantee Mr. Massage Boy, the owner of the Patriots, is definitely putting his foot down. But as I said in another video, Mark Davis is putting his foot down too. He did not like the fact that Antonio Brown just went bye-bye. There is a little danger with Antonio Brown being a Raider prized free agent acquisition. Yes, I say that. Yes, he is a total a-hole. He needs someone. He needs a life coach. He definitely needs someone to tell him, chill the fuck out, dude. You know, just grab him and physically restrain him from, like, taunting the cops and stuff. And all that talk with the woman and is the mother of one of his children. No, someone needs to actually intervene in his life. I still say Derek Carr, maybe he is a good life coach. I mean, he's looking for a life coach. He just said that. The Raiders definitely don't need Tom Brady. He's too old, and tuck rule. That's all you need to know. Tuck rule. The snowball game. Doesn't that bring back nightmares for you? I remember, I'm definitely not a fisticuff type person, really. But I remember punching the wall just to bloodlet. I needed the blood to get out of me. I was so hot. I was so hot at that point, so angered. And not just because of that call, because the Raiders just didn't respond. Tim Brown couldn't catch a pass. He was like, looked like a cat out on the ice. You know, it just did not look right. Just did not look right. I hated that. I hated that totally. It wasn't even that cold. Trust me, it wasn't that cold. And Derek Carr, let me say right now, before I forget saying some of these things, Derek Carr in Denver, playing in the cold weather, proved he can play in the cold weather. That was his only 300 yards passing game. Remember, he's had a great running game the whole season. He hasn't had to throw 300 yards. So anyone who's trying to say Derek Carr can't play in the cold weather or can't play, is not a good quarterback is, I mean, all the times, yes, it looked bad when he would throw the ball away on fourth down. Okay, what is he going to do, actually? He's going to give up a pick six for 90 yards or 100 yards? Get over it. He's obviously frustrated. He does not have a legitimate number one receiver. And he deserves one. He definitely deserves one. He deserves one that can take his fastballs. He throws fastballs. Watch how he throws. He's got great movement, a great, arm movement. He gets the maximum amount of velocity on his passes. he needs someone like Antonio Brown. Antonio Brown definitely needs discipline. But I'm only thinking of the Raiders, what's best for them. I'm only thinking of, do you want that feeling of losing the game all the time? Or losing the game more than half the time? 7-9 type of record? Or do you want that? The Derek Carr. Remember that Derek Carr? Since 2014, no quarterback in football has more fourth quarter comebacks than Derek Carr. Now you could say Tom Brady hasn't needed that. Well, he hasn't. Guess what? He would not do well with the Las Vegas Raiders. He's not Death Star material. Derek Carr is our Luke Skywalker. And we need to surround him kind of with a Han Solo. We need like a loose cannon, if you will. I'm not saying Antonio Brown is as cool as Han Solo. Antonio Brown is he is a piece of cake. What can he do? What can he do? He can neutralize the effect of Tyreek Hill. He's our Tyreek Hill. I'm saying the Raiders are stupid not to go after him. It's not about swallowing pride, like I said in the last video. I don't think Mayock is that sort of a person that holds grudges and is totally fazed by being called a crackhead. It's a pejorative. It is nothing. It means nothing. They're just words. They're just emotional expulsion from someone who is losing the argument. And then he cried and wanted to quit. He quit. We need to emphasize it over and over and over again. Antonio Brown quit on the Raiders. Mike Mayock did not. Mike Mayock had every intention of having Antonio Brown play in that Denver game. Does that ring true? Do you remember that? You better start. But I'm thinking, I'm channeling my inner Al Davis. And Mark Davis is his son. He doesn't look like Al Davis. He doesn't sound like Al Davis. I can't do Al Davis's voice. I could almost do a Bernie Sanders, and that's not really the same thing. But anyway, I digress. Channeling my inner Al Davis. Al Davis wanted to go to Las Vegas. That is what he told Steve Berline. That's where I heard it. He told him that, and I imagine he told some other people. Maybe some people, like Amy Trask, could comment on that. She probably doesn't listen to this video. It's like, what the fuck? But, anyway, maybe she could chime in. She spent some time with Al Davis, and she's a cod. She'll snap back at you. Maybe she could comment on that. How he wanted to go to Las Vegas. And what is Las Vegas? It's just this big show, this light and entertainment center, and vices. But it's a show. You put it on a show. When I think of Las Vegas, maybe I am old, but when I think of Las Vegas, I think of one thing: Elvis, Aaron Presley. Elvis. I think of Elvis. Elvis with the nudie suits, putting on a show with his incredible band. I mean, that's what you're doing. You're putting on a show. To me, Tom Brady is not putting on a show. Tom Brady is sticking a fork in your franchise. Raiders need to keep on adding missing parts. They were missing parts from last year, such as Abrams. What do we got in him? We don't even know yet. He played one game. Josh Jacobs. How many times was he brought on the sidelines? Quite a few. And he was injured most of the year. Based on my perspective, he had a shoulder injury for a long time. And he battled through it. But still, it's like taking him out of the game actually affects the whole offense in so many ways that when I think about the last time the Raiders were good under John Gruden, it was Charles Garner and I'm going to forget his name. Totally forgot his name. The big running back. It'll come to me maybe after this video. But that's bad. But anyway, Charles Garner stayed on the field a long time. First down, second down, third down, and then the second half, they brought in the Thunder. That's what they did during that time. They also had a good offensive line, good defense. And that's not what they have right now. Tyrone Wheatley. It came to me. It's called Alzheimer's. But anyway, that was lightning and thunder right there. But they kept him on the field a lot. And you need that continuity so the defense doesn't know what to do on 3rd down and 5. 3rd down and 5, you might still run it. You know, I really don't think the Raiders should let teams off the hook by punting on 4th and 5. That's my person. But you need the players to be there to be able to get those 15 yards. 15 feet, rather. That's why you need someone like Antonio Brown. He obviously needs work. But his time is running out. And to take advantage of him is running out. It's not a kill. It's not a deal breaker, I don't think. But really, coming out of the draft, you're looking at players like Judy and Lamb. Are those guys really at this point in Antonio Brown's category? Probably not. They probably don't have the baggage. But they don't have his skill set right now. He worked very hard to get his skill set. And to me, he needs to learn how to direct his emotions. Right now, his problem is how to deal with his emotions. He doesn't have a life coach. I don't know if Derek Carr is that person. I'm sure Derek Carr would try to be that person. have a talent like that compared to what he has right now. But to me, it's workable. To me, it's not medication. The Raiders have had people with mental problems before, and they were on medication. Robbins' name? Is that the son's name? He had a breakdown before the Super Bowl. I just think Antonio Brown needs a focus. And you know what I would argue with Antonio Brown? You want to go play for the Patriots and Tom Brady, because Tom Brady is going to be re-signed by the Patriots, guaranteed. You want to go play for him again. And you're going to play the Jets twice a year. You're going to play Miami twice a year. You're going to play Buffalo twice a year. Now, some of those teams put up some decent records last year. Well, Buffalo did. And Jets were competitive in the end. What is that? At the end of the day, after you beat those teams, the Patriots have been beating them for like 20 years. Where's the real prize? Taking on Tyreek Hill, Kansas City. Playing Denver twice a year. Playing the Chargers twice a year. Who, they just got rid of Rivers, but they're a good team. Playing Kansas City twice a year. Can you do it? I mean, at the end of the day, what are you going to say? Oh, I beat Miami 44-0. That's what he did. I think that was the score. The one game he played. What do you want to play the best? The Super Bowl champions in the Death Star. What kind of challenge do you want? Or do you just want to go to the team that you think is going to be the best? I'm telling you right now, Tom Brady is a good hit away from ending his entire career. He's getting up there in age, and he's looking very slow, and he's starting to take some hits, and they don't have a very good offensive line. They don't have a running game too much. They struggled last year. Their defense helped them out so much. That's just one team. There's other teams you could go to. Who are you going to? You got an opening for a #1 wide receiver. Las Vegas Raiders. You've hung out with Derek Carr. You went to birthday parties with him. What do you really want to wear? Do you want to look like you're from the USFL? That's what the Patriots uniforms look like. Or do you want to play for the Las Vegas Raiders, the silver and black? You know Gruden's going to support you. He said that. He said that recently to you. Derek Carr, give him credit where credit is due. After you demanded your release, Derek Carr didn't turn to social media and start ranting and raving about how Brown quit on the Raiders. He didn't do anything like that. He had your back the whole time. You turned your back on him. If anything, you owe him an apology. Antonio Brown owes Derek Carr an apology. Raiders got some draft picks. They need help. They need some pieces here and there. Then they can start to really compete. But Antonio Brown has to ask himself, what sort of a challenge does he want? How would he like to win? Would he like to win as the Patriots again for the blah 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 time? Because that's the team he picked after the Raiders. Remember, he was traded to the Raiders. That wasn't his choice. Yes, he did sign a contract. Then he acted like a friggin' retard, burning his feet, and just all this helmet crap. Who do you really want to be? That's what he needs to ask himself. I don't think there's any problem with Derek Carr. Derek Carr needs some wide receivers. He's a gunslinger. John Gruden knows that. John Gruden asked him if he felt like his arm was going to fall off at his quarterback camp because he threw the ball around so much in college. Derek Carr is not the problem here. The problem is communication. Tom Brady will be back with the Patriots, and Derek Carr will be back with the Las Vegas Raiders. The question right now is, will Antonio Brown be back with the Raiders? I'm thinking still that Mark Davis is pissed off still. And he wants this to happen. And Gruden is still pissed off and disappointed that Antonio Brown didn't play for the Raiders. And Mike Mayock, I wouldn't worry about Mike Mayock. I think he's a bigger man than people give him credit in the media for. He wants the best for the Raiders. He wants to build their team. And you saw what he did in the draft. That is his draft. He brought in characters, people with who are willing to play well above their pay grade in many instances. So, I think under certain circumstances, Antonio Brown could be brought back. Tom Brady will play for the Patriots again, despite crybaby Patriot fans thinking that they want to move on from. Maybe even Bill Belichick wanted to move on from. But I think Raider Nation needs to start supporting Derek Carr and looking at this bigger picture, that there's games being played right now. You have to look beyond these games and one little game that's being played out there is who the Raiders will get for a wide receiver for Derek Carr. And I think you know where I stand on it. He definitely has problems. Antonio Brown has major problems. He needs someone to yell at him, actually. Some of the things he's done recently, I don't know if those things are totally fixed just because he's apologizing right now. I'd like to see him apologizing. Is he making eye contact when he's apologizing? There's a lot of things you have to look at with Antonio Brown. In fact, any contract with Antonio Brown, I think, has to hinge upon a disciplinary measure that he has to maintain a certain decorum. It's not that hard. Just stay out of trouble. You'll get many chances on the Raiders. Trust me, they have a wide receiver vacancy wide open. That's how I roll. Not with 40 ounces, though, right now. Down with the Jesus juice.